Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and our Simple Abundance here with Sarah Ban Breathnach's book, Simple Abundance. Today is a beautiful day. I hope it is where you are as well. Thought I would sit outside and do the video today for May 28th. It's called Order Within. And it's a tie-in with all of the home entries that we've had this month, as far as talking about getting our homes in order, getting the energy moving. We've talked about so many different things. Check out my videos if you're just tuning in for the first time, because the month of May has been really all about the home and looking at it from many perspectives, but ultimately trying to get it organized, I think, right? That's been a big theme throughout. And so today's entry, Sarah tells us that it's only natural when we start getting order put together all around us, that it's time to take a look on the inside and think about order within our own selves, within the home of our spirit, as we talked about in another entry. So she goes into a little bit of detail about the things that she does to start her day and end her day. And she asks a few questions. And actually, this paragraph made me think about, remember when I told you guys when we first started talking about simplicity, I told you that in my journal I have a page where I will write down anything that is annoying me, like anything that I feel like I could find a pretty simple solution to stop the daily annoyance of something that's probably so small that is easily rectified. Well, this is something similar to that. She says, one way to begin seeking order within is to come to grips with what drives you crazy, but you've been too distracted to do anything about it. Run a video of your typical day through your mind and view what compassion the woman hanging on View what compassion the woman hanging on to the end of her rope needs. What makes you cringe? It could be anything from rushing off to work convinced that you've forgotten something you need for the day, to never finding anything to wear that's unwrinkled, to discovering that you're cooking dinner and that you're out of a necessary ingredient. All of these situations cry out for order, just as your fragmented soul does. There's a better way to live. It begins when we establish order within, so that the order will become a visible reality in our daily round. Start by bookending your day with reflection first thing in the morning and last thing at night. This quietude will remind you that you can make the choice every morning to live in a world, but not be caught up in the frenzy of it, especially a frenzy of your own devising. Your bookends can take as little time as 10 minutes each. What do you think about that? Do you guys have any sort of morning and evening rituals? I grabbed a couple of things to share with you. I'm sure you've heard of Tony Robbins, right? He's a big inspirational guru. Actually, he has a Netflix documentary saying he's not a guru, so I shouldn't have said that. But he's a big self-help guy and motivational speaker. You can find a lot of his videos online easily. I looked up because I know that I've listened to a lot of his recordings, and he talks a lot about starting off the day with these morning rituals. And if you look at what he actually does, this is not on the list, but he will jump into like cold water and then go into hot water and then cold and hot, and he does all these physical things like screaming and pounding his chest, and he does other things like that, but that's not what this is. But you can find out more about his other things that he does. But these are some things about getting the day started off on a good fit. Okay, so mapping out the morning, thinking about the things that you need to do immediately setting a priority. Hopefully you have some kind of a planner, or you're using your journal in this way. Make sure too, when you're scheduling, that you're giving everything that you need to do time. Like, even if it seems like something that should be last on the list, make time for it. Really schedule it in. He recommends incantations. So, my morning daily affirmation deck that I shared with you guys in another video, it's along the same sort of lines as that. You can listen to them, you can say them, you can think them. He calls them incantations. He says incantations are all about committing your life to positive energy and accessing the confidence within yourself. I know it's not on the list here that I printed out, but I do know that he also meditates in the morning. And that is, even if you can just do 5 or 10 minutes, that can really be centering to start the day off right. And the last one is making room for change. He says changing your life can be difficult, whether it's altering your morning ritual or making other important and positive changes to an established routine. He's suggesting that a life coach is helpful because it can help with assistance and accountability. Morning rituals have the potential for making powerful transformation to your everyday existence. Change for a better outlook is always possible. Our true potential can be met with positive incantations, which we can use to recognize the confident and driven person living within ourselves. He's very goal-centered. I found this other cool thing, Start Your Day. I printed it off, and I'll put the links to anything I shared in my information box below. These are a couple of quotes from various people, and when I was looking up the Tony Robbins thing, this is why it came up, because one of them is his. So Mark Twain said, "Eat the frog," he called it. Always tackle the hardest problem that you have on your plate first thing in the morning. Tony Robbins said, visualize. Visualize how you will make your day and mapping it out like we just shared. Work out. Barack Obama actually said that. He said, I do it just to clear my head and to relieve my stress. David Karp says, real work, no email. So he says, don't check your email right in the morning, do real work first. It's a good idea. There's a lot of philosophy out there about really monitoring when you check your email, just checking it like at certain times of the day instead of just being consumed by it. And especially if it's very stressful for you to open it up, you really don't want that to be the first thing you do in the morning. And then Steve Jobs has ask myself, he says. Every morning I ask myself, if today was the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? I doubt many of us can say that some of the things we have to do are the things that we wish we would want to do. So what do you guys do in the morning? Let me know in the comments below. Then I have something from a blog that I was looking up. I thought that Tony Robbins also had an evening ritual, but he doesn't. But I found a pretty cool blog, and I'll share these ones. I really liked this. It was have a shutdown ritual. So, we shut our computers down. We have to shut our brains down too. So I liked that, making a shutdown ritual. Mastery, not TV. So using your time, maybe your last couple of hours before bed, to be things that you enjoy, like your hobbies, stimulating your brain. There's definitely time for TV, but I can see the point of not having it always be every single night before bed, especially not in the bedroom. Remember we talked about with the feng shui, not having the electronics in the bedroom. Don't go to bed angry with your partner. That's a good advice. Write down the good stuff that happened. So that would be like your gratitude exercises, right? I hope you're doing that. I do mine at night before bed, but you could definitely start in the morning with that too. There's a bird right nearby. The notes on that one were: put a notepad and pen by the bed. Before you go to sleep at night, write down 3 things that happened that day which you're thankful for. Then write a sentence about why each happened. I think with Sarah, it's 5 things. I have 5 lines on mine anyway. It may be 4 in Sarah's. It's been a while since we explored that. You can go back and watch that gratitude video way back in January. And schedule something to look forward to. That would help you sleep a little better too, right? I thought it was interesting. Studies show anticipation can actually be more enjoyable than getting the thing you're anticipating. You know what? I can agree with that. I think I love anticipating. I have a lot of fun with anticipating. I make always a lot of plans. Then sometimes it's kind of hard when you are like that, because sometimes things don't live up to your expectations, but I do like the anticipation. So knowing when you're going to bed that you have something that's coming up in the future to look forward to, something good. As far as the order, you can make a list of those things like Sarah said. Maybe it's laying your clothes out ahead of time so that you're not running around in a frantic state in the morning. Maybe it's deciding what you're going to have for breakfast or getting it all set up overnight. Maybe it's having a checklist of things that you need to bring on a daily basis. I didn't print this out, but something I read said, and I agree with this, that if you know what your plan is for the next day ahead of time, instead of waking up and being like, what day is it? What do I have to do? That it can really help. And I agree with that. Like, that's why I just love my planner so much. I'm such a scheduled list person, so that gives me a lot of peace. So start to think about the way that you can add a little bit more order and peace into your experience, so that you're not feeling like all this order around you is not within as well. I like getting organized, so if you need any help, if you have a question about something you're struggling with to find order within, I'm happy to reply to your comment. Thanks for watching, and we will wrap up the end of the month in the next couple of days. And thank you for liking and subscribing and sharing the channel. I'm so glad you're here with us for Sarah's Principles: joy, harmony, beauty, order, simplicity, and gratitude. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.